Hey everyone! Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more stories like this one. Part 1: The Words That Shifted My World. I'm Maria Torres, 30 years old, the eldest sibling, the silent problem solver who always finds a way. On graduation morning, the air carried the scent of coffee and faint steam. My apartment felt eerily still, almost too calm. The robe draped over the chair looked absurd, but I couldn't help feeling a swell of pride. 5 years of late night classes. 5 years of sorting out everyone else's messes. Out of reflex, I opened Instagram. First up, Tessa's story. Oversized sunglasses, boarding passes spread like a winning hand, caption surprise Italy trip. Then Mom's repost, her comment slicing through. She's the only one who truly makes us proud. It hit me like a velvet-covered stone. I read it again, then once more. No mention of my milestone, no congratulations. Just praise neatly aimed elsewhere. A text buzzed in moments later. Maria, don't make a scene. Focus on your day. Attached was a photo of their packed bags, Tessa grinning with Dad, the dog sporting a scarf labeled CA. I stared at my phone as the kettle hissed in the background, and in that moment, something quiet inside me snapped into place. I smiled, opened my banking app, and hit withdraw. Have you ever been the family's go-to fixer? Drop your story in the comments. Part 2: The Role I Played. I used to believe love meant solving everyone's problems. When Mom's car sputtered like a broken appliance, I covered the mirror. When Dad's back gave out, I paid for his things. When Tessa needed a laptop for her assignment, I had it delivered. In our family, appreciation came with a shelf life. Every favor I did turned into an expectation. They called me dependable. They meant compliant, predictable, useful. I set up an emergency fund at Mom's bank. My money, my name, her card, just in case, she said. That case morphed into software subscriptions, seminars, and weekend trips labeled as networking. When I questioned it, Mom sighed. This is what good daughters do. A praise that felt like a chain. Dad said I was fortunate to have digital cash flow. Tessa snapped, "You're always so focused on work." I kept paying, thinking I was securing Harmony, until Harmony started sending me bills. The balance stayed high, but my patience ran dry. At 6 a.m. once, Mom texted, "Did you forget our rent?" Our. She meant hers. I stared at the word like it was a betrayal laid bare. I sent the payment anyway. Her thank you reply shrank me, not warmed me. Love shouldn't feel like a transaction slip. Every yes I gave earned louder affection. Every hesitation cast me as the antagonist. I didn't need rivals. My family filled that role. I wasn't a daughter, just a smiling ATM. Graduation day felt. Part 3: The Moment It Broke. Like a celebration I wasn't invited to. The stage lights burned too bright, the cheers too distant. Jordan's wave from the crowd roared loud enough to cover for the 10 people absent. I smiled for him, not the photos. Some triumphs stay personal. At home, the quiet hit harder than any noise. My cap sat on the desk like an unresolved question. Then my phone pinged. Large purchase attempt. Florence Boutique Hotel. The emergency card. My card. Taxi fees. VIP transfers. A $4,000 suite. Emergency didn't belong in that picture. I called Mom. She answered, "All cheer, graduate. Don't spoil today with complaints. Why's my emergency fund paying for a luxury hotel?" "Everything's urgent when you're chasing a dream," she said. "Whose dream?" Another sigh. "You don't have a family of your own. You wouldn't get it." That one cut deep. "The account's mine, Mom. My deposit's my name. What do you want? A medal for buying groceries?" Then her sharpest line, saved for moments like this: "You'd be nothing without us." Tessa's the one who makes us proud. It wasn't anger that followed. It was clarity, cold and unshakable. I opened my laptop. The banking dashboard lit up like a neon truth. Rent, tuition, utilities, workshop flights, every transfer in my name. Years of yes lined up like receipts. Mom kept talking, guilt cloaked as care. I barely listened. My cursor lingered over disabled card. "Don't be childish, Maria. It's tasteless." I clicked. A soft chime responded, not vengeance, just a boundary coded in zeros and ones. I took screenshots, evidence against rewritten stories. The family chat erupted. Dad, don't ruin this. Tessa, if you mess up my trip, you're blocked. I sent one PDF, every deposit highlighted. This isn't a shared fund. It's mine. Card deactivates at midnight. Plan ahead. Read receipts stacked up like a jury's verdict. Mom typed, deleted, typed again. Don't shame us. People are watching. That night, the Florence Hotel called. I offered one night's payment to ease their landing. After that, they'd cover their own. The manager thanked me. The silence that followed felt deserved. Jordan crashed on my couch just in case. He didn't preach, just stayed. I slept like I was submerged, then broke the surface. Morning brought light, coffee, and steady resolve. I jotted 3 rules on a sticky note. 1. My accounts are mine. 2. Emergencies are exceptions. 3. Love doesn't need a ledger. I stuck it to my monitor and smiled. Tonight, Florence discovers the card's dead. The next morning, my inbox. Part 4, The Aftermath, was a gallery of guilt. Messages from relatives I hadn't heard from in ages. Aunt Donna, your mom's worn out. Be gentle. Uncle Ray, family doesn't lock each other out. Even a neighbor I barely knew. You're breaking your mother's heart. Each message carried the same undertone. Erase the boundary, shrink back down. They didn't care about the truth. Just that piece looked neat from the outside. I stared at the screen until the words blurred, coffee cooling beside me. For once, I didn't respond. I let their clamor fade in the inbox. Instead, I checked my dashboard. Orders shipped. Refunds processed. Numbers that stayed put. Numbers that didn't demand apologies. The calm felt almost unfamiliar, stability without strings. At 12:07 a.m., Mom texted again. Hotel says the card failed. Fix it now. 10 minutes later. If Tessa's stuck in a cheap place, that's on you forever. I didn't reply. Jordan slept on the couch, arm over his face. I stared at the ceiling until sunrise and realized something startling. Peace isn't always silent. Sometimes it's the absence of chaos. By morning, Mom had rallied cousins, aunts, anyone who'd ever used my Wi-Fi. The family chat blazed. Selfish. Ungrateful after everything we've done. Then the kicker. Tessa's the only one creating something beautiful. I almost chuckled. Instead, I muted the chat. The day rolled on without their noise. I hired a logistics expert, trained a new packer, and learned the office coffee maker leaks if you overfill it. Real problems, fixable ones. That night, my phone buzzed, an unknown Florence number. A weary hotel manager asked if the card would reactivate. I said no, but offered one more night's payment to give my family time to adjust. He thanked me, I thanked him. It was the smoothest talk I'd had in months. A week later, they returned. Mom's first texts were back. Hope you're pleased with yourself. Then, you embarrassed us in front of everyone. I typed, you managed that on your own. Erased it. Sent, glad your flight was safe. She called. I let it ring twice, then got a voicemail. Do you know how humiliating it was to switch hotels? That sentence said it all. She wasn't sorry for the deceit, just for getting caught. I didn't answer. The silence that followed wasn't punishment, it was a boundary standing firm. For the first time in years, I could breathe without needing approval. Part 5, The Confrontation. 2 weeks later, Mom called again, her voice dripping with honey, the tone she used when she wanted something. Sunday dinner, just us. Let's sort this out. I paused, then said yes, not out of longing, but to see who they were without my money propping them up. I brought a pie from the local bakery, her old favorite. Their house felt smaller than I remembered. No music, no aroma of cooking, just tension hanging like static. Mom greeted me with an overly bright smile. There's my girl, she said, eyeing the pie box. You didn't need to bring anything. I know, I replied, brushing past. Dad sat silently at the table. Tessa scrolled her phone, ignoring my presence. Mom served food that tasted like regret warmed over too many times. Then she started. Italy was messy. Things got exaggerated. I set my fork down. You lied. You used my money. You called me selfish for saying no. What got exaggerated? She blinked, her smile faltering like someone losing their grip. You make it sound so cruel. It was cruel, I said. You just didn't feel it because I paid for the padding. Tessa looked up. God, Maria, you're obsessed with being in charge. You loved playing the hero until we stopped praising you. I leaned back, calm. You mean until I asked for accountability? Her jaw tightened. You shamed us. No, I said quietly. You did that when you used an emergency fund for a vacation and called it ambition. Dad cleared his throat. Enough. We're family. We move forward. I held his gaze. Then start by owning what you did. He didn't. None of them did. So I stood. I'm not here for closure. I'm here to set things straight. You don't get access without respect. You don't get ease without honesty. If you want a relationship, it starts with truth, not guilt. Mom's voice wavered. We were scared. You're all we had. No, I said. I was convenient. There's a difference. The room fell silent, just forks and breathing. Then Mom whispered, You sound like your father when he's mad. I smiled. Maybe he finally taught me something worthwhile. I grabbed my coat, left the pie untouched on the counter, and walked out without a slam. The quiet trailed me down the driveway, not triumph, not defeat, just balance settling back where it belonged. Part 6, The New Beginning. The weeks after that dinner were calm, almost unnervingly so. No calls, no guilt-laced texts, just mornings free of dread. I poured energy into my work, my health, the small joys I'd neglected for years, cooking breakfast, reading at night, rediscovering what peace felt like. Then one Sunday, Mom called again, her voice gentler this time. Dinner tonight. Come if you'd like. I nearly declined. Then I realized wanting wasn't needing, so I went. The table seemed smaller, the meal simpler. Tessa wasn't there. Mom set a photo by my plate. Me at 6, clutching a paper volcano. You've always made me proud, she said softly. I just didn't say it well. Her voice shook. Not defensive, but human, weary, remorseful, real. Something in me eased, not for the past, but for the possibility of letting it go. It wasn't a full apology, but it was honest. That was enough. We talked about my job, not money, her garden, not guilt. When I left, her hug was tentative, not possessive, just a moment of connection. At home, I placed the photo on my desk beside a note I'd written months ago. You don't buy love, you live it. For the first time, those words felt real. Boundaries hadn't shattered my family. They'd revealed who was ready to rebuild and who wasn't. If you've ever been guilt-tripped for choosing peace, know this. Walking away isn't cruel. It's clarity. It's self-respect. And maybe, just maybe, it's the first step toward finding your way back home.